Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Dana Atwood, and I am a hypnotist in Portland, Oregon. I'm really enjoying sharing little bits and pieces of my own thoughts and advice. These videos are not meant to take the place of therapy or any kind of treatment, but I hope you enjoy them nonetheless. Today, I want to talk about parenting your inner child. Parenting yourself. This is a great topic. I mean, I could go on and on with all the facets because on one thing worth mentioning, when we get to this part in in some of my hypnosis sessions, when we get to the part of confronting our parents and discussing ruptures from childhood, some clients struggle when they have a great relationship with mom or dad. So they have a great relationship with mom or dad, but mom and dad are human. There's no way they got it perfect. Spoiler alert, they did something. I'm doing something to my kids, I'm sure. So mom and dad are human. There's been a rupture in childhood, and they're really struggling to say, mom did this or dad did this, and they shouldn't have done it that way. And we all do things we shouldn't have done that way. Um, anyway, Nonetheless, whether you have a great relationship with your parents or if your childhood was really lacking, which unfortunately I also see a lot of, either way, we can go back and address some of those ruptures. And when we do that, we want to reparent ourselves through the rupture. It's a little hard to explain when you're not in session with me, but anyway, more than that, I want to discuss parenting yourself every day. So every day you have opportunities to parent yourself. So what's that look like? Okay, if you are having a rough go at whatever, I don't know, work, school, home, anything, and you're in a moment of dysregulation. Imagine, and I don't know what age you need to envision, but I'm just going to use for the sake of the example, I'm going to use 6. Okay. So imagine a 6-year-old child with similar attributes to yourself. Okay. If you're a boy, imagine a boy. If you're a girl, imagine a girl. If you're, don't identify, maybe you can envision a child with who doesn't identify, just whatever it takes to envision a child you could see as yourself, okay? So you see the 6-year-old child and you see, and the reason I say attributes is because if you are still in the process of working on self-acceptance and self-love, then to actually envision on a more closer to conscious level, if you were to actually envision yourself as 6, you might have trouble finding all the compassion that would be useful in an exercise like this. Does that make sense? So if you are still on your journey and have not reached a certain level of self-love and self-compassion, then it might be easier for you to imagine a child like you, but that is not you. So imagine 6 and ask yourself, what does 6 need right now in this moment? What does 6 need? So in a moment of dysregulation, you might have 6 stop what they're doing. You might have 6 take some deep breaths. You might just listen with a curious ear and ask six what it is that's really bothering them. Those are all things you might do. So now you do it to yourself. Okay, stop what you're doing, take a few deep breaths, and ask yourself with compassion, what is it that's really bothering you? What do you need right now? Now, six is only six and might not know, but you can do your best to provide some level of comfort. If you are in a relationship and not feeling particularly loved by your partner, now, obviously, I've now complicated the scenario by adding another relationship, but I'm not focused on I'm not focused on your relationship with your partner right now in this video. What I'm saying is, regardless, if you actually need to switch partners, if you don't need to switch partners, but do need to have a conversation with your partner about what you really need and meeting your needs, that's also a thing. But I'm talking about you right now. So if you are going through that, and maybe while the feelings are raw, maybe before you can have a conversation, turn the attention inward. Okay, you're feeling really unloved right now. I get that. What can I do? What can I do to help right now? What can I tell six to remind them that they are lovable, that they're wonderful and fun? Tell it to yourself. You are lovable. You are fun. Say it to yourself. Say what you would say to six to yourself. Okay? So we've got dysregulation, uh, perhaps a rupture in your partnership. Maybe you have a lot going on at work. Maybe you're overwhelmed at work. Okay? So imagine six being overwhelmed. How can you help six to get back into regulation, feel confident, feel smart, lovable, feel like they can get this done, they can do it? Now say it to yourself. Turn that attention inward. Okay? In addition to all the love and compassion, which is obviously the most important piece of it, is turning the love and compassion inward. Also, I want you to consider what does a good parent really expect? How do they get expectations met from the child? So parenting yourself also means making sure you are taking care of yourself and your responsibilities, right? Because if you had a child who was falling behind in school, now you're worried for child, not just because you're militant and want things to get done, but because you want them to have all the opportunities possible. You want them to feel like a success. You want them to know they can do hard things. You want them to be able to challenge themselves. Okay, now turn that inward. Demand from yourself in a loving way, like you would do for a child. Lovingly hold yourself accountable and demand that you try some new things, that you challenge yourself, that you do what I'm working on right now. Learn to organize your life better so you don't throw money away in secret nooks and crannies. That's self-parenting. Having some expectations for yourself, demanding you meet those expectations. Create some structure for yourself, just like you would do for a child. That's that's really all growing up is like you're little, you have things you need to learn, things you got to get done and figure out with in an idyllic world with the help of loving, compassionate adults. Okay, now you're older, you're out on your own, so you've got more distance between you and compassionate adults. Okay, now you are the compassionate adult. Turn it inward. Love yourself, parent yourself, tell yourself how great you are. Expect things from yourself. Create structure. If a child's not meeting expectations, you might restructure some free time. You might restructure um, their desk, clean up their desk, or help them clean up their desk. Okay, do it for yourself. I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. And I hope you go out there and become the loving parent you deserve to yourself. You are enough right now, just the way you are.